Well, let's get more on this with Justin Urquhart-Stewart, investment manager and business commentator, and always fabulous to have on Global Business Europe. Thank you for coming into the studio. So, with the European Commission already looking ahead to Starmer's successor, where does the UK's relationship with Europe now sit in terms of economic importance?
Well, it's still important to Europe. This is one of the things I think the politicians didn't really grasp. The EU was the biggest trading partner of the United Kingdom, and you can't just walk away from that and ignore it. And the EU is the largest free trading bloc in the world, and you can't just ignore that. Sadly, 10 years too late, people are realising that it's somehow really rather painful. So can Britain reverse that and go back into the EU? The answer is yes, it can, but not at the deal they had then, which was actually a very good deal. But no one seemed to appreciate that then. So what's the EU going to do? We'll probably be sitting there saying, yes, we'd like you to come in, but on our terms, not necessarily on your terms. So it'll be interesting to see, does a new leader actually say, despite the vote 10 years ago, actually it is common sense for us to move closer towards the EU, whilst also taking advantage of the fact they've been able to do further international deals with India and other areas around the world, and joining the Pacific Trading Group as well.
It's a tightrope to walk, isn't it? But look, beyond the political drama, what's happened, this Keir Starmer resigning, what does it signal about the state of the UK economy right now?
It is, remember that one word that runs the economy, which is confidence. And unfortunately, one of the things that Starmer has, he's a perfectly nice individual, but he's no leader. He does sound like your average solicitor. I'm being very rude to lawyers. Well, I'm a failed lawyer. But there have to be some position where you need to be, think that actually it's been, they've done some positive things. And they have done some positive things, as well as some very negative things, which you were just discussing now, like putting an extra tax on jobs, which was really stupid. What it showed was actually you had politicians who had no economic or business experience. The greatest employer in the United Kingdom are small companies. They weren't very good at doing that, setting up, particularly in high-tech, 40 or so high-tech hubs around the country. But they need access to more capital, not government capital. The government can actually enhance in terms of greater tax incentives, again, not investment, but tax incentives for domestic and overseas investors coming in. That brings in that word confidence back in again, and that'll impact on government debt, because what will that do, people say, we've got more confidence, therefore the cost of that debt will start to go down a bit as confidence increases.
So there's pressure to be more business-friendly, but I wonder if all of what's happened makes it harder for the next government to avoid those difficult decisions, those choices on taxes, on borrowing.
It is very difficult indeed, because, I mean, we are living beyond our means, like a lot of Western European nations are. So you've actually got to face up to it and say, something's got to give here. We've got large issues to do with defence expenditure, where everyone's saying that must be increased, and people can understand why. But at the same time, are you actually going to be cutting back on health and other areas? But a lot of these things have been allowed to expand, just grow like mushrooms all over the place, as opposed to defining what is the NHS, what is it capable of doing, and what doesn't it do. The same also in terms of other welfare areas. You can't give everything to everybody forever. It doesn't work like that. So you have very difficult positions, which would be unpopular if you were running a sort of populist as a populist politician. It's very interesting, because there'll be a lot of criticism in a year's time if he finds himself actually being Prime Minister. People turn around and say, but we never elected you. So does he then turn around and go to the people and say, well, we're going to have a general election? Really? At a time when you put through some difficult decisions? Not an easy position to be in.
Not easy, but he might. Let's look. We've talked about Europe. We've talked about the UK itself. So more broadly, where does the UK sit now? Is it a more or less attractive place to invest in and do business in?
Well, the answer is, if you actually peel back all the rhetoric, actually it is, because what you found is still a very open economy, an economy which is improving some of its infrastructure in areas like that, and it's actually got the ability to actually develop smaller businesses in high-tech, which are attractive to other areas, industries coming into the country. So that's encouraging. Also, Britain getting out and saying, right, let's have more international linkages, particularly in terms like the stock exchange and other areas, out to Singapore and other areas, and create a greater initiative. And so people will start seeing Britain as a good place to invest. At the moment, it's lost its lustre, it's lost its positive attitude, and it's beginning to think the worst of itself. It's got to turn itself around. Still the 6th largest economy in the world. It's still, what, 15th largest manufacturer in the world. So it is not unimportant. It's not as grand as it used to be, but actually has got some great opportunities there. And actually the government should grow up and say, this is what we would need to be able to grow. You create greater wealth, which allows you to have more tax, to earn more income for the government. Putting tax up does not create greater wealth.
So confidence from inside and out.
Absolutely.
Justin Urquhart-Stewart, thank you very much.
My pleasure.